Hello and welcome once again to Voice of the Coast. Louisiana ranks third in the nation for children who are being raised by a next of kin who is not their biological parents, whether it's grandparents, aunt or an uncle, maybe even an older brother and a sister. That is an alarming statistic, and it comes with a lot of big problems, both obviously for the child and for the person trying to raise the child. And that is the purpose of the Grandparents Raising Grandchildren Information Center of Louisiana. The president and founder, Kathy Coleman, came down from Baton Rouge to talk to us today, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm not the founder. Dot Thibodeau started this in 1993, but I've been in it for 15 years.
Okay. How did you get into this?
Situation where I was raising grandchildren. I actually adopted one grandchild. It's a situation you never think you're going to be in, but when it comes to your door, you step up.
Yeah, that is very understandable. And so let's kind of break it down into just a very general explanation of what it is this organization does.
Sure. We're a nonprofit 501c3, and we offer resources and support to grandparents or any caregiver raising kin children not their own. We're statewide, so we handle people all over the state, and what we try to do is find any kind of resources you might need when you get these children, whether it's food, whether it's financial, whether it's, clothing, whatever you need, we try to meet you where you are.
And it is a particular problem here in this area, correct?
Yes, we have several families here in the Morgan City area, as well as all over the state. It's not just this area. And so what we do is when they call our office, then we meet them where they are, and everything with Georgie is confidential. So if you call our office, nothing goes outside our office. If we have a program we'd like to refer you to, we ask for specific permission to give your information to said programs.
Okay. Let's kind of go step by step through the process and what it is you help people out with. And first of all, we want to specify, although the name of the organization is Grandparents Raising Grandchildren, this is not just a service for grandparents.
Absolutely not. When it started in '93, it was strictly grandparents. Now, since things have changed, it's grandparents or other caregivers raising children they're related to, but not theirs.
It's got to be a blood relationship.
Kin. Yes.
Okay. What is what do you find is the biggest resource people in that situation need?
It's really hard to pin it down on one. The first thing you need is legal. You need custody. If you have a child in the state of Louisiana and you don't have custody, even though your aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, it doesn't matter, to put these children in school, you have to put them in as homeless. The McKinney-Vento Act, which is really hard for some families. If these children are living with their grandparents, they're not homeless, but that's the only way we can get them into school. You start off with legal custody. There's all kinds of legal custody that you need, and everyone has to be catered to fit your particular situation. Once you get that, and the fees are astronomical. What about food? When you first get these children, the first thing you think is, what's for supper? How am I going to take care of them? Clothing, things people don't think about. What about a bed? You have your grandchildren come visit for the weekend, and it's kind of makeshift. What do you do if you get 3, 4, or 5 grandchildren moving in with you?
Yeah. Speaking, as a grandparent, my wife and I have 2 grandchildren, young grandchildren. You're prepared for them to spend a weekend, maybe even 2 or 3 nights with you. But from an extended standpoint, you get beyond that. That's just not where you're thinking about your own personal resources going. Being prepared for an extended amount of time to be emotionally and financially responsible for a child, even if it's your grandchild.
Absolutely. And you want to afford the children the best. They need their own space, their own room, their own beds, whatever. So it's just a mixture. So by the time you look for food, clothing, legal, where are we going to put them in school, that's just the beginning. That's not even the day-to-day care.
Right. Okay. We'll get in more into that in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more of Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to Voice of the Coast. Kathy Coleman, the president of Grandparents Raising Grandchildren Information Center of Louisiana, is our guest. And let's get the information up on screen for you if you need to contact this group. The website is lagrg.org. You see the number 225-810-3555. There's also an 833 number, 833-714-0008. And we were talking during the break. We're both grandparents, and you're mentally kind of prepared for the idea if you ever had to take it on. You know, you have had to take it on. I never have, but I know my wife and I, without hesitation, if we had to take on our grandparents, our grandchildren long term, we would. But just thinking about just having them for a weekend, you know, two nights in a row, that's exhausting. And it's just, at this point in your life, it's just not something you're prepared for. So it's not just a financial burden that grandparents in this situation are needing. Sometimes it's just moral support. Is that there?
The support groups that we hold all around the state is for that. It's support. You know, sometimes when you know somebody's in the same shoes as you, it just makes it easier.
Yep.
When you can sit down with another grandparent and truly be honest and say, I don't know what to do about this, or, you know, how do I handle this? That helps. Everybody's affected emotionally when these things happen. Mm-hmm. Everybody, the grandparents and the grandchildren and the parents as well.
Let's talk about some of the legal aspects of this, because the first thought you kind of have is the tragedy of it. For some reason, a child is orphaned and the grandparent might have to step up, and that happens. But unfortunately, probably more often than not, it's a situation where the parent might be neglectful for some reason or other, and it's the grandparents stepping up because they know the child needs a better support situation and a better home life than what they're getting. Legally, what are you able to do for those grandparents?
Well, in addition to that, Chris, you have to remember that you have parents that go to jail, parents with mental problems. So there's a lot of reasons. It's not just the grandparents stepping up. It's if Department of Children and Family Services have to pick up these said children, and then they hold them and they call the families and say, hey, Chris, we need you to pick up your grandchildren, or we'll have to put them in state care, in foster care. So there's a lot of reasons which, you know, why you would do that. But once that happens then you need legal custody. What does that mean? But if DCFS still remains custody and just allows you to be the custodian of the children, if you will, that's a total different realm. But if you have a son or a daughter who's passed away and left the children and you have to take them in, then that's a total different thing. Then you have some who are incarcerated in a rehab facility, in a mental institution, could be a month, could be 6 months, you don't know. So it's not one box fits all. You kind of have to figure out what to do. I'm so very proud to tell you that we work with several people around the state, groups. One of them, Godan Law Group out of Baton Rouge, where and Southeast Legal Services. And what we do is we meet people where they are and find out, what do you need? Did your child pass on? Do you have custody? What do we need to get you custody? Start with temporary custody to get these children where you can put them in school, take care of the things you need. If their parent has passed and they need Social Security, You got to have some way of getting to that. You see?
And from a longer term standpoint, how often do we get to a situation where you have grandparents or older siblings actually becoming foster parents to these children?
So this is the way it is. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing that's happened. DCFS used to have foster parents, but it was not kin family. Okay, you either went with your family or that. Now they've elected to have, you can be a grandparent but a foster parent. The reason being, DCFS will remain having custody of these children, but you'll be able to have them on a day-to-day basis. We try to say we would rather them not in state care at all,
right,
if a grandparent's there. However, let's say you're a single grandparent on Social Security, you don't have the financial means to take in these children. Only way you can do it is with assistance. You might elect to apply for a foster grandparent to get the state to help you with that. Also, there's a kinship navigator in this realm that if you're a kin family member, then, and you want the children to not be a ward of the state, custody of the state, then there's a way that they can help you now. That used to not be here. So that's been a wonderful, wonderful addition.
Okay, great. Okay, we need to take another quick break. Stay with us. We'll be back with more Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to Voice of the Coast. Kathy Coleman with Grandparents Raising Grandchildren Information Center of Louisiana with us. Let's put that information up on the screen, the contact information one more time. lagrg.org is the website. 2 phone numbers to keep in mind, 225-810-3555 or 1-833-714-0008. No referrals. If you need help, you have to be the one making the call, right?
That's correct, because everything we do is confidential, and we want to make sure that anything you and I talk about is only what you want put out there. So the process is, you've got a child you're raising, niece, nephew, grandparent, doesn't matter, cousin, as long as you're related. You call our office. When you call the office, you say, this is what I'm doing, I've got these children, where do I go? We will then say, okay, it's all confidential, tell us where you stand. Does the state have custody? Are you trying to get custody? Did a parent die and the child's kind of in limbo where the children dropped off and you don't really know where you are? Doesn't matter. Once you tell us what that is, we will say, okay, this is where we'll guide you and show you, are you aware under those circumstances, these are the services you can apply for. What we'll do is 90% of it can be done on the phone. We can handle that. If we need to, we will come and meet you. We do not expect anybody to drive to Baton Rouge to go wherever. We will come and meet you. We will then try to get a support group in your area where we can get you with other like people so that you have someone to talk to, know what's going on. We will then contact people in your area in Morgan City to see what we can do to help you. Is it uniforms you need? Is it food assistance? Is it legal assistance? What do you need? Because you might need something that the other families don't. Wherever you are, we will meet you where you are. But you have to be the one to call us. Don't let somebody else call on your behalf.
The overriding situation with raising a child in any circumstance almost is always about the money.
Yes.
And how people maybe staying in a foster parent or just a custody situation like that, how much that legal definition of who is raising the child ties into what financial assistance is needed.
It means
or
all
not needed, but available. How much
correct.
is available?
And what direction. Here's the thing. You have to have some type of legal custody, temporary, whatever, to be able to apply for, say, the kinship care. Kinship care is where the state allocates $450 per month per child. So if you have a child, you can get that if you meet their guidelines. So I want to make sure we don't handle that. That's handled through DCFS. However, we've got some wonderful people at DCFS that are our liaisons, where we can call them and say, we have a grand family in Morgan City. These are the circumstances. We need to know what's available, what we can do, and we will assist you in applying for that. Let's say DCFS continues to have custody of the child and you want to be a foster grandparent. If that's the case, it's a different road, if you will, that you go on. That's why we need to know where you are and what type of legal assistance do you need to get yourself straight, to know what resources are out there to help you.
And obviously we've talked a lot about where we're dealing with a grandparent or blood kin who is raising or in custody of a parent, of a child, while the parent is still possibly in the picture, and we're kind of thinking everybody's cooperating, nice big happy family. How does it get different with a situation where the parent is not so willing to give up that custody?
Oh God, Chris, 90% of the time the parents are not willing to give up custody. When DCFS has to step in, it's a situation of abuse, neglect. There is some reason why these children are not safe. The state removes the children from this place. You got to remove it, okay? So the parents are not going to be happy. First of all, if things were going well, the state wouldn't pick up the children. So then you have not only is it your grandchildren, then the parents, your children, are opposed. Well, I don't want my children leaving. It doesn't matter. If the children are unsafe and the state picks them up, that's when the grandparents become involved. So that leads you to a little different trail. Right. Then, not only are you trying to step up for these grandchildren, raise the grandchildren, you've got your children over there that you're kind of butting heads with because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So it makes for turmoil for the families.
Right. Okay. We're going to take a quick break. I had to cut that segment a little bit short, but we will be back with more of Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to Voice of the Coast. As we said at the beginning of the show, Louisiana is third in the nation for having children being raised by blood kin who are not the natural parents, grandparents, older siblings, aunts and uncles, whatever it has. Grandparents Raising Grandchildren is the organization that is helping out these people. It says grandchildren in the grandparents in the title, but it can be an aunt or an uncle or an older brother, so long as it's a blood sibling. Kathy Coleman, thanks again. Two things we want to get as we're wrapping out of time here. The annual conference you have coming up, and that is in April 24th of 2026. What's going to happen there?
Oh, it's going to be phenomenal. There's going to be between 300, 350 people from all over the state. It's 40 to 50 nonprofit organizations there to bring resources to you, things that you're not aware of that's available to you. They're going to have speakers from all over, workshops that are there, educational. The legislature's helped us. We've got a Senator, Representative Jack McFarland, and we've got Senator Regina Barrow that have put their hands on us to try to help us to get the resources and the things we need for these families that are out there. It's absolutely free. You have to register because it's at the Holiday Inn South from 8 to 4 on April 24th, 2026, and it's absolutely free. When you come there, you're going to get a good understanding what's in your area, what's available, how you can help, and the main thing, to know you're not alone. Mm-hmm. There's someone else in your shoes. Right,
and of course that's a ways down the road. That is in April. In the meantime, if you need help more immediately, you can check out their website, lagrg.org, or give them a call at the phone number on your screen, or the 1-800 number, 833-714-0008. As you're trying to expand services in Morgan City and St. Mary Parish, what are the things that you need? Because we're not talking about a brick and mortar location in this area. Everything still works out of Baton Rouge. But what is the support, or what kind of support do you need help with mostly in this area?
Oh God, Chris, we need people that would be willing to say we can help with food for the people local in our area, diapers in our area. Attorneys that's willing to do pro bono work. They might say, look, I can do a form for you. It doesn't have to be a whole lengthy thing. We've got a program that we're working to do with that where we'll offer free CLEs for attorneys to help get us legal fees. So anything in your area, anything that resources that we would be able to pass on to the families in your area would be so helpful if people would just call us.
And of course, money.
Oh, money.
Donation would help.
Absolutely, yes. And you can go to our website and you can donate there. And did I mention to you that we're all volunteer?
You didn't, but I'm not surprised.
Okay. There is no staff. We believe we don't have enough money to cover the resources we need, so we can't pay people.
Yeah.
So we run the statewide. We help people. We meet them where they are, and we don't run 8 to 5 hours. You can call our office at 10 o'clock at night. If you need us, that's when we need to be there. Our mission is if we can help one baby, your baby, my baby, it doesn't matter. That's what we're supposed to do.
And the resources we're talking about, it's not a question of going onto your website and searching for it. You're going to get the resources to the people that need help, correct?
When you call our office and say, hey, this is where I live, this is my parish, and this is what I need, we're going to start at the beginning and say, what do you need? And we're going to make sure we don't claim to have all the answers, but we work with over 130 people to get the answers for you.
Great. Okay. If you need help, check out that website. If you can help, check out that website. They'd love to hear from you. They need to hear from you. This is an amazing enterprise that is going on here. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time on Voice of the Coast. Have a great night.